Hello, welcome back. Today I've got a friend who has got a drum kit, and this is the kind of the controller for it. Now he told me that he plugged, it was busy plugging the cable in that goes to his amplifier, electric drum kit, and he just heard kind of like a bit of a feedback noise, like a high-pitched whine, and then it went off. No power at all. So maybe it's the audio out one there. Maybe he's trying to put it in there instead. I don't know. So I said I would have a look, and I did quite a while back, about 4 or 5 weeks ago. Maybe it's even a bit more. And after a little bit of diagnostics, I left this plugged in, and I traced from the power. When you press the power button, it was getting a signal to turn on, but it wasn't actually turning on. A little bit more investigation, and this little chip down here, which I believe is a transistor or a MOSFET maybe, it does have a number on, but trying to get it to display on camera is probably going to be nigh on important, maybe. I don't know, but found it difficult to track those down. So had to go to the good old Alibaba or Banggood. I can't remember where it was that I got them from, and for about 20 pence, where did I put them? I did have them just a few minutes ago. Oh, there they are. Yeah. 10 for about I'm saying 20 pence. It was maybe £1.30 or something, with free shipping. Taking one out. I've taken some readings of this whilst it's not connected to the board, and I'm getting very different readings than what I am on this one. However, I do appreciate that this is on the board. So I'm going to take this one off, compare the readings, and if they are not the same, I'm going to pop this one in and see if we can get it working again. So my soldering iron, should I try and use the hot air? I'm conscious of it being right next to this plastic bit, so I don't really want to use the hot air. Let me move that over there. Tin that. Should maybe get some low melt solder, like low temperature melt solder. Might actually work a little bit better. If I can Can I get a blade under there, then I can heat it up and then try and lift it. Not really. Okay. Just have to hope my soldering iron can generate enough heat to lift this off. That has lifted a little bit. Yep. So now let's see if I can get the legs off. There we go. I will clean that up before I solder the new part on. I'm going to move that out of the way for a second. And if we bring the old one and the new one And let's just compare some readings. Can you see that? I hope you can. So I expect that to be here. Okay. So 1.1, and with the top leg 0.94. Okay, so that was the new one. Nothing very different. So that would tell me that this is the dodgy part. So let's get rid of that one. Just I do have, or I did have, I need to tidy up my workbench because it's starting to get a bit of a mess and I can't find my desoldering braid. Everything but. Okay, I'll have to do without. Not ideal. Where could that have gone? It'll be around somewhere. I'm sure of it. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of pressure to that so it stays straight if I can. And I'll tell you what, let's clear those pads up a bit first. I could really do with my desoldering braid. I know I need a solder extractor, an extractor fan as well, because it's not ideal the way I'm doing it. I do know that, but these things cost money. Not a lot, but I've got better things. It sounds quite flippant, I've got better things to spend my money on, but it's not. I have more important things, maybe is a better way of putting it. As we all know, the cost of everything is increasing, and makes it more difficult for just day-to-day living, to be fair. That doesn't look as if it's soldered. Let's see if we can get a... So that should... Where do we have a ground there? Would that be the ground, or would that be the... Let's get my pipe here. That was the... Yeah, that's connected. So what have we got? Reading wise, when I go from there to there, still good. Still good, and I was getting none of that before. Could have another one gone, but let's see if this has fixed anything, and if it has, let me check to see whether it's a different number. Okay, so I may have to go searching again. This may be my first ever to be continued. I've just got my bench power supply hooked up. I tend to do this so I can, no matter what I'm working on, I can just find the right sized connector and just connect it up, dial the right voltage in, and see if it works. Yay! Hehe. I don't know how it is supposed to work, but there you go. It's not mine, but there you go. All works. Like that. So that was literally just these transistors. Maybe it's a MOSFET, I think they're transistors. They're kind of just like two diodes back to back. So if you're not getting any kind of diode readings, you can find the data sheet and work out sort of what sort of readings you should be getting. But I didn't do that. The readings I was getting were just not what I would expect, and that just comes with a little bit of experience. But as I've said before, I'm by no means an electronics genius. I know the basics, and it's just what I've self-learned over the years. When I first left school, I did was it a B-Tech? No, City and Guilds in basic electronics, and it really was basic. It was this is a resistor, this is what a resistor does, this is a capacitor, this is what a capacitor does. Nothing kind of microchippy wise, AND gates and NAND gates and things like that, but I've forgotten the majority of that now, couldn't remember any of that if I really wanted to. I suppose I would. When it comes to and or, they're easy enough to work out. It's pretty self-explanatory. But if it came to anything, NAND and NOR, and yeah, leave that to the more advanced people. So let's get this back together. And then we'll try it with its own power supply. I did I know I've never tried its own power supply, but I know for a fact that it's not the power supply that's at fault, because I used my bench power supply to try and power it and it didn't work. So that ruled out. That's the other good thing about using a bench power supply. I know it works. I do have another video in my on my channel where I actually kind of repair my own bench power supply. It was brand new when I bought it. It arrived, and within a week I was getting a big flash and a pop when I turned it on, and it was an inrush capacitor. They'd made it not quite big enough, put it that way, and the power supply still worked. It just now and again it would pop and give a nice big spark, and so I changed the inrush capacitor. Had a couple of attempts because there was no real indication on it what was installed, so I just went with, it's one of these things, so I just went with something not quite this big, physical size wise, put it in, and it's been fine ever since. But that's the good thing about using a bench power supply to test things like this. You know it works. You can see it's got an LED screen, and yep, gives you a reading of what amperage it's drawn and the power that it's using in watts. So that's 9 volts. It's a 1 amp power supply, and it's only drawn 0.1, 190 milliamps at 1.7 watts. There you go. So I will give that back to my friend. He did actually go out and buy another drum kit, but this now enables him to either have a spare drum kit or a second drum kit, or he could sell it as a working drum kit. But yeah, that's that done for the sake of £2. Drum kit was worth over £200, I think he paid, and for the sake of around about £2, it saves it going into landfill, and it's going to get many more years of use, and he'll be more careful when plugging stuff in. I'm sure from now on he'll turn it off before he plugs it in. But thank you very much. Yeah, please like and subscribe, because every subscription and every like does help, and I'm sure you'll agree that that's another positive fix.